I would say this is probably the best loss of the season. And this is where we're at with the Sixers. I'm ranking losses. Like, I feel good after this game. I'm happy. I'm not really sad. Like, that's crazy. That's embarrassing. But it's either this one or the Cavaliers game where we played them wire to wire when they were undefeated. That was a good loss as well. But the reason I have this loss over that one is because of the height advantage they were going up against. I mean, think about it. You got Franz Wagner. That's a small forward for the Magic. He would be a center for the Sixers with the current roster construction. You know what I'm saying? The only center that they could play tonight was Adam Bona. Of course, Gershon Yabusele is playing center because he has to. But, I mean, think about it. They had two other centers out there, 7-footers, Bataze, Wendell Carter Jr., and then just because the Magic are the Magic, they got a 6'5" point guard, Jalen Suggs. And then they got Anthony Black, who's also like 6'5". He looks 6'6". He looks taller than Jalen Suggs. I mean, they got height at every position. And the Sixers are deploying Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey as 6-foot backcourt. Not only that, they got KJ Martin at the power forward. Like, what are we doing? And they competed. Obviously, they lost the rebounding battle, but 42 rebounds to 35 rebounds, when you put the height advantage into perspective, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I mean, I wish they came up with more loose balls on the ground. I felt like a lot of rebounds tonight were not because of height. I feel like they had the ball. Like one time, Kelly Oubre just got stripped. And they would get their hands on the ball, and then it would turn into like a loose ball, and the Magic were just quicker to the ball. So a lot of people were saying, yo, play Adam Boda. We don't have a center on the court. That's why we're losing the game. We don't have a center on the court. Well, if you put a center on the court, especially in crunch time like Adam Bona, oh, the Magic are going zone. Oh, the Magic are doubling Tyrese Maxey at half court. Oh, the Magic are doubling Jared McCain. If you put Bona on the court in crunch time, I understand maybe playing more than 14 minutes like throughout the game, but people who were asking for him in crunch time, no. And this was a game where I can't get too mad at Nick Nurse. I thought he was really creative defensively. He went box and one in the fourth quarter when it was looking like it was over, and it gave the Sixers more life. It gave them one more fake comeback in them, and it resulted in two Mo Wagner corner three-pointers, and there was a couple possessions where they were lost. They were like, what do we do? Because the only consistent half-court creator for the Magic tonight was Franz Wagner, and then sometimes Mo Wagner, but mostly it was Franz. Anthony Black was very good at the end of the game, so props to him as well. But the key for the Sixers to get back in that game was making it a half-court game. You know what I'm saying? Because in the first quarter, they were turning the ball over. They were challenging rim protectors. Like KJ Martin, come on, man. He goes right at Jonathan Isaac. What do you think's going to happen? Block. And now it's an easy score. The Magic were very good in transition. Sixers transition defense was terrible. They had like 14 points off turnovers in the third quarter. I'm sure it was more than that by the end of the game. But that was the Magic's offense, because when you got them in the half-court situation, it was really Franz Wagner bail us out. And if he didn't have it, that possession, or like whatever, like the Sixers were doing pretty well. And then, of course, it was finishing possessions as well, which was a struggle all night long. But that's expected when you're going up against the Magic. Even if the Sixers have Joel Embiid and Paul George back, they're still going to struggle on the finishing possessions. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm very excited about this loss, as you can tell. Now, there's a lot of talk about Tyrese Maxey. There's a lot of talk about him. Now, in the beginning of the season, I would agree. I was a little disappointed in Tyrese Maxey. Tonight, obviously, make open shots. That would have been nice. I mean, if he makes his open three-pointers, they were momentum shots. He just didn't have the legs in him on a back-to-back. But I'm proud of his defense. Lately, his defense has been very good. Last 4 games, he's averaging 2.7 steals per game. And the thing is, like a lot of times tonight, the Sixers were willingly switching him onto Franz Wagner and getting away with it. Especially in the first half during that second quarter comeback. Like, that was insane. His defense, man. And there was a time where Jalen Suggs was trying to ISO him, and the confidence I had in Maxey to get that stop, I was like, I have full confidence in Maxey defensively. What is this? I mean, it's a night and day difference. Not only that, but his playmaking has been way better. He should have had 6 assists in the first half tonight. I mean, he was gifting open shots. And there was a play late in the game where Maxey could have took like a tough contested floater. He usually takes that, but he trusted Ricky Council. He didn't get rewarded. And that's the type of play where if he makes that pass, everyone's like, oh, Maxey, he's making that next step as a playmaker. What a guy trusting his teammates. But because Ricky Council doesn't make that shot, it would have tied the game. People are like, oh, why didn't Maxey score there? Why didn't he take the shot? So I don't know. He's averaging 7.2 assists in the last 4 games. I'm impressed with his playmaking and defense lately. Obviously, I want him to get more efficient. But again, tonight, he showed up in crunch time, just like he did against the Hornets. And then don't forget, against Amen Thompson, the number 1 defense, he had 39 points. He's getting double teamed off screen. So this concern about Maxey, yes, if you want Maxey to be like Steph Curry, or if you expect Maxey to be like a true number 1, then I understand like, oh, I'm concerned. Because clearly he can't be the number 1 and carry you to like 50 wins or whatever. But I would even say if the Sixers build a better supporting cast around him, there's no offense around him right now besides Jared McCain. And he's a rookie, and he's also a 6-foot guard who's a defensive liability. So if you build a more cohesive team, rather than your 2 best players being injured every night, maybe Maxey can be the best player, and he can be like a fringe playoff team or like a 5th seed or whatever. You know what I'm saying. But basically overall, yes, if your expectations are for him to be a number 1 option and be as efficient as he is with Joel Embiid, then you should be concerned. I'm just thinking here like, oh, if Paul George consistently plays, that's going to free up Maxey. Eventually, he's going to come around and he's going to be more efficient. If Embiid comes back and he starts to get that Embiid gravity, I mean, he's going to be fine. Jared McCain, of course, was magnificent. 24 points in 39 minutes. He's just so good offensively. I just wish there was another guy the Sixers could rely on for offense. Like, that was the story of the game. Like, there was no one else to rely on where, save this possession. So when McCain or Maxey didn't have it, and Maxey didn't have it most of the time offensively tonight, obviously, but when McCain didn't have it, when Maxey wasn't there, it was like, oh, we're relying on Caleb Martin, we're relying on Kelly Oubre, we're relying on Ricky Council. And there was like a stretch in the game where Gershon wasn't looking to shoot, and I was like, dude, you got to be aggressive. You just have to be aggressive. I don't care if you keep missing. What you can't do is not look to shoot, because we already got Caleb Martin who doesn't want to shoot. We got a bunch of non-shooters. So, I mean, that's the story of the game right there. There's just too many offensive liabilities. Oh, it's disturbing. And we're worried about Tyrese Maxey. Look who he's playing next to. Yabusele. Besides Jared McCain, Yabusele's probably the best floor spacer. And he's not even a floor spacer. Like, Kelly Oubre's been hitting shots, but teams do not care. Teams don't care. And also, shout out Kelly Oubre. He's such a better player when he makes open three-pointers. It's so nice. Please. And it just hurts so much when he misses open three-pointers, because we know Caleb Martin is missing open three-pointers. And I'm going to be real, the Sixers got to trade Caleb Martin. He just doesn't fit the team. And I'm thinking if the Sixers do get fully healthy, which they probably never will, but if you swap Caleb Martin with a Dorian Finney-Smith, it just works so much better, because Finney-Smith does the things well that Caleb Martin does. What I love about Martin is he's always hustling, he's always defending, he's quick to loose balls. And I'm just yeah, Finney-Smith can do that stuff, but I can also trust him way more from 3, and he's willing to shoot 5 3-pointers, and he has a release that I can actually watch. I feel like if you just swap Finney-Smith for Caleb Martin, a lot of things get better. The Sixers also need like a point of attack defender. They need like a defender for guards, but I don't know where that's coming from because we really rely on Kelly Oubre for defense, and he's really not that great of a defender. But yeah, there's a lot of holes on this roster, but a lot gets fixed if number 21 ever gets healthy, and the sad thing is he probably won't ever get healthy. That's where we're at. I don't know. My expectations have shifted where I thought this was a fun game to watch. I like how they have been competing lately. It's much more watchable. And I'm just going to go with the Tide. Are they going to make the playoffs? Who the heck knows? Who the heck cares?